I grew up on the streets of San Francisco. My dad battled a heroin addiction for 15 years, and he fought in an Asian gang. He had bullet holes alongside his calves from the last time he ran from the police, from the last time he robbed someplace. And a woman introduced him to Jesus, and Jesus changed his whole life. And he ended up starting an outdoor church to our friends living without homes and battling with addiction. And that's how I grew up. We had outdoor church services 2 to 3 days a week. People brought their alcohol bottles. People brought their drugs. I remember one time my dad told me to go to this man and give him this pamphlet, like a tract about Jesus. I remember my dad just handing it to me and saying, "Go give it to this man, hurry, go, run." I had no idea why he was asking me to do that. I didn't know the man, but my dad asked me to do it, and I just did it without thinking, without wondering if I was safe, without wondering why he wanted me to do it, without thinking what this man would think of me. And I ran to the man and I handed him this pamphlet about Jesus, and I ran back to my dad. My job was done. And my dad ended up preaching on the streets that day, and that man ended up putting his faith in Jesus. And my dad went to him afterwards and he said, he was just trying to get to know him, ask him about his life. This man tells my dad, "I want you to know, I have a gun in my pocket. There's a man in the building behind us who killed my niece. And I was coming here today to have revenge. And I just sat in this park contemplating what I was going to do when this little girl ran up to me and gave me this pamphlet. So I stayed sitting until she left. And then you started preaching about Jesus. And when you talked about what God saved you from, I want to give my life to Jesus. I don't want to live like the other people in my life have lived. I want to change my family's legacy around." And I remember when my dad told me this story, my dad was weeping. Him and this man were weeping. They had been saved from extreme circumstances and experienced God's grace. And then my dad is trying to explain it to me as a little girl. "Do you understand how important it was that when I gave this to you, you just ran and did it and obeyed?" And I didn't understand the weight. I didn't have a past like my dad or this man. And I just remember saying, like, "Great, Dad, like, are you proud of me?" Like, I remember it was so simple to me, but as I got older, I look back on that time and I think, God, please let obeying you be this simple for me always. When you call me to do something, let me just go, run, hurry. God, help me not to overthink it. Help me to not overcomplicate it. Help me not to go through every scenario of why I might not be safe, where the other person might think of me. I want to just go, run, and hurry no matter what the results might be. And I think that story has stayed with me. I've never shared that story before. It's just because it's a bit extreme, but it is what I try to remember whenever I start getting a little nervous about obeying God. I just think, go, run, hurry. The results aren't really up to you.